I just had an amazing trading week on the daily chart this past week. We are now in Venice, in Italy. It's been beautiful, staying at the St. Regis Hotel, which is really nice, really amazing. So I'm kind of treating myself to this, but I had a good week. I want to go back on the chart, show you what happened, a few of the trades I took, how it went, and we'll go back step by step to this past trading week on the charts. All right, so I'll go back here. You can see I have my trading view charts. Here's my journal, all the trades I've taken. This is a live account, by the way. I hide all my P&L because I don't want to see it when I trade. All my trades now are closed. But you can see if we go back to the history tab over here, we've got all the trades from the past week. We've got here a take profit on AUDJPY. I closed this one on USDJPY myself. We have USDSGD, USD Singapore dollar, AUDJPY again. So let's kind of go step by step through these trades, see what happened and how I trade these and how I had a crushing week with these trades. First one is on AUD Japanese yen. Now this is a very good one and things went quite well. Now you can see I closed my trade, but it went even more in my favor, which I could have captured of course, but I'm happy with the 2-to-1 I got in this one, considering it was very short and very quick. This is a strategy I trade with the whole moving average. So it's a moving average that's much closer to price, kind of moving with it a lot better. And it gives you an area where you can buy and sell. The way I use it, which is not typical, is it gives you an area to buy and to sell. So think about this, when it's below the whole moving average, right? Price is in a good spot to buy because it's below, it's a good price, not overpriced. When it's above it, then it's kind of oversold, right? So you don't want to buy there, but you could be shorting there. You could be selling there. You can see I combine this with my Bonjourman reversal setup, which is over here, where we had engulfing candles going back within the range. This one here wasn't triggered because we didn't go below the low, but the idea is the same here. We look for price to be in those areas. Now, get back one more step. Imagine price is below the whole moving average and the whole moving average is going down, so it's red. Do we want to buy or do we want to sell? Well, we don't want to do anything. In that case, we prefer to sell, which we prefer to sell if it's above the hull. If it's above the hull and it's red, then we can sell. If it's below the hull and it's green, then we want to buy. Right, it gives us a good spot because we are in a good spot to buy. We're not too high in the market yet, and we have the hull trending in our favor. Now we need, of course, to combine this with candlesticks, some more confluence there. It's not only the hull and that's it. There's a lot more to it, but that's the basic idea behind it. If you'd like to use my indicators, it's one of them that I offer to people to trade with. I teach you the strategy step by step. I guide you through how it works out. I'll leave the link below for that. You can check it out. I gave you 3 indicators for a very, very low price. I think it's worth it if you want to use this and trade either the daily chart or any other time frames. Definitely worth it. But let's get back to the trades. All right, so you can see we have these triangles in the chart here. Area to buy, below the whole moving average. Bullish engulfing candle with a nice, very nice wick before here. That's a good area for me to look for a buy trade. So I entered this trade right above the high over here. Stop loss goes below the low. Very tight stop loss in that case, very tight candlestick too. And then reward to risk is very simple. I do 1-to-1 for my first take profit, which is over here, triggered. And then my second one is I'm usually trying to keep it for the long term. This past week I thought this move here would reverse, so I closed it early at 2-to-1. Typically what I'm gonna do is I'll leave the trade open until we close below this whole moving average, right? When price goes back and closes below, somewhere over here, then I can get out because then I know price is gonna go and probably go down further because now we're below the whole moving average. If the whole turns to be red, once again, I'll get out too. But I find that most trades don't go beyond 3-to-1 or in most cases 2-to-1. So I'm okay taking profits there, knowing that price could reverse, go back against me, and it could just kind of close below the hull, and then I ended up with like maybe a 1-to-1 or maybe a 0.8-to-1. So I prefer to take profit faster on this. I did catch this whole big move here on a different pair, which I'll show you about. That's my idea here, is I want to reduce correlations. So if I had this trade open on a different pair, I don't want to have them both at the same time, or with very low risk. And I want to get out when it's optimal. So 2-to-1 is pretty good. 3-to-1, if I can get it, if I'm sure I'm going to get it, it's good too. But 2-to-1 is okay too. Or wait for the longer term if it's really gonna trend a lot. On pairs like Bitcoin, I might hold it longer because I know it's trending really strongly. AUDJPY has kind of been sideways for a while. Trending, but somewhat sideways. So that's what I'm thinking about here. So that was a very simple 2-to-1 trade on this pair. We had the same thing happen. Again, correlated pair here on Euro AUD. Now this setup was a little bit around the same time actually. It was over here. So I could have gotten short here. I didn't take that trade because I was focusing on AUDJPY. I missed this one during the week, my fault. But this would have been also a good short trade. So you enter below the low here, stop loss above the high, which will be over here. And we target a 1-to-1 for first take profit. And now we will still be in the trade. So this one happened a lot slower. Also, we had a bigger candlestick before, so bigger stop loss. That just goes with it. I like the setup on AUDJPY better because you have a tighter stop loss. It's a good trade, it's very quick, and price moves in their favor quite fast. So, like I said, this one I didn't take it. I've got a trade I have to take here in a few days on EURAUD after the weekend is over. I'll probably go short on this one, if of course it's triggered and we go below the low. But that's kind of what it is so far. Next trade, which I closed just before the session closed here on Friday, which was somewhere maybe here, maybe a little bit higher, on USD Japanese yen. This gives us a 2.71 to 1, which is very good in my opinion. Almost a 3 to 1 in that case. Had I kept it a little bit, I could have gotten a 3 to 1 probably, but I went to sleep. It was late here in Europe. So what this is the same principle, right? You can see my indicator doesn't show always the candlestick properly. Here we don't have a setup, but I clearly see one. We have a bearish candlestick, then a bullish engulfing candle, and we are below the whole moving average on this candlestick. So I go long above the high, stop loss below the low. First target at 1-to-1, which was triggered right over here. And second target here in that case, I closed on Friday because I know for a fact that on most pairs, actually with my strategies, the way I trade, they tend to do really well on Friday, like have a big push, and then Monday they just reverse and go against it. So I prefer to close my trades on Friday usually, unless it's a very long-term move and like we don't have any big move that happened in the past. In this case, I'm pretty sure price will reverse. I want to get out first before the weekend starts, just so I don't have any risk when it comes Monday. And I don't want to be caught in a reversal of that move. Again, these trades are super simple. Super simple strategy, works well, works with trend. Of course, if you're going sideways and you're going to trade as much, you're probably going to be out most of the time, but it works quite well. I combine this with my BBR strategy too. So both I can trade at the same time, but it's pretty cool. I'm really happy with this. Okay, next trade is on USD Singapore dollar. Again, these are correlated. They move all in the same manner. That's why you have good weeks. I do reduce my risk when I have these correlated trades. I don't want to have too much risk on the same pairs or correlated pairs. But this one here is on USD Singapore dollar. One of the pairs I like to trade the most. Again, same principle, nothing changed here. We have our bullish setup here, which is a very big candlestick. Okay, we enter above the high over here. Stop loss below the low. You can see the triangle here showed up correctly, which is good. And my first target was 1-to-1, which was triggered right here. Now, like I said, if it goes below and closes below the whole moving average, I'll close the trade usually, because I know price will just kind of either go back and forth, not do anything, and we can always re-enter later. So I want to close the trade if we go and close below the whole moving average, which we did in that case. So we had our 1-to-1 triggered here, and price went below. Here we don't close below yet, we're good. Here we didn't close below, we go above, didn't close below. Here we didn't close below, we closed just above it, and then here we close below. So in that case, I want to go close the trade here, because I know price is not going to do anything there. It's probably going to go back and forth and just kind of stay there for a while. So I actually close the trade right over here at this line there. And that's kind of it for the trade. It's very simple. Works out pretty well. Now, I know for a fact that if we go back, we have another engulfing candle here. Of course, I'll go long. Of course, I'm going to go and get back on that trade, right? It's totally normal. If you have an engulfing candle here, which this one isn't, but we could have one later on, I'll go back and go long again because it was still trending. There's a good move happening. The hull is up and green, which is good. And we are below the hull, so it's a good place to look for a bullish trade. Overall, this trade was a 1-to-1 plus a 0.75 to 1 roughly. So that's a small trade, small win, but still pretty good. So that's how it worked out. So if you want to see how I use these indicators here on the charts, how I'm trading them, and what things I do behind the scenes, you want to be able to trade the same way I trade. I found indicators to be one of the easiest ways to teach someone how to trade. They can just follow the setup directly, see them on the chart directly when they appear. So it's easier than having to teach many rules, go back and forth, have them spot trades by themselves. They have the indicators on the chart. They can spot it easily. I'll give you the stats behind it and everything, of course. So if you want to check it out, the link will be below. The first link is going to be for that, if you want to have a look. And I'm going to be happy to help you with that if you want to try to use this for your own trading. I'm not keeping this up forever because I want to help people that have the indicators to trade them properly and be able to make sure they can execute and have good results with it. The goal, of course, is always to give you results with these things. If you have any questions, make sure you comment below. I'm going to be happy to look at the comments. Hope I can help you get better results in the next few days. And by the way, this is on the daily chart here, but on Thursday, next Thursday, I'll release a video with Michael Tama on how it's scalping. So it's going to be all the way down to lower time frames. Here we go and trade higher time frame, the daily chart. It's really high, it's very long term, it's very easy, in my opinion, of course. But Michael will share about his scalping. So it's gonna go all the way down to 5-minute charts, on how I was taking these trades very short in and out while traveling. So if you want to check this out, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's gonna be published on Thursday. I'll try to get the link below or here somewhere on the screen after that when it's gonna be published already. Make sure you subscribe to not miss any video. And I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.